Imagine it's 2 a.m. and the blue light of your phone is the only thing lighting the room. You're scrolling again. Another friend just got promoted. Another couple is traveling the world while you're stuck in the same apartment, same routine, same quiet disappointment. A text from your boss still sits unanswered because the criticism in it stung too deeply. Your mind starts its familiar spiral. Why does everything go wrong for me? If only the economy were better. If only she hadn't left. If only I had more time. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're simply trapped in weak thinking, that invisible habit of handing your peace over to traffic, opinions, past mistakes, and future fears. Every time you do it, a little more of your inner power leaks away until one day you wake up wondering where your confidence went. But what if the only thing truly holding you back is the way you think? What if right now, in the next 20 minutes, you could learn 8 ancient rules that rewire your mind so completely that weakness no longer has a place to live inside you? These rules come from 3 men who should have been crushed by life, yet became unbreakable. Epictetus was born a slave, crippled by his master, yet became one of the most respected teachers in Rome. Seneca rose to become the richest man in the empire and advisor to an emperor, only to be ordered to take his own life, and he faced death with perfect calm. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world during wars and plagues, yet at night he wrote private notes reminding himself how to stay human. They didn't write self-help books. They built a daily operating system for the mind. Stoicism isn't about positive thinking or pretending life is easy. It's about training your reasoning so that no external event can ever steal your inner power again. Weak thinking is voluntary slavery to things outside your control. Inner power is the freedom that comes when you finally stop consenting to that slavery. The 8 rules you're about to learn are not random tips. They form a complete chain, 8 unbreakable links that together create a shield around your mind. Each rule targets one specific weakness: reactivity, fear, comparison, resentment, distraction. Replace the weakness with the rule and the chain grows stronger.
By the end of this video, you will no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstances. You will see yourself as the master of your mind. And that identity shift is where real power begins. Let's begin with the very first link, the one that alone eliminates roughly 80% of your daily mental suffering. The Stoics called it the dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught it with crystal clarity. Some things are up to us, our judgments, our desires, our actions. Everything else is not. And it's not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Most people waste their entire lives trying to control the uncontrollable. The rude driver, the colleague's opinion, the stock market, the past. Every ounce of energy poured into those things is energy stolen from the only place real power lives, inside your own mind. Picture this. You receive a harsh performance review at work. Instantly, the mind screams, "This is unfair. My boss doesn't like me. I'll never get promoted." Heart racing, stomach tight, you spend the entire evening replaying the conversation, defending yourself in imaginary arguments. That is weak thinking in its purest form. The Stoic pauses and asks one simple question: is this up to me? The review itself? Not up to you. Your boss's opinion? Not up to you. But your response, your effort tomorrow, the lesson you choose to take, those are completely up to you. So right now, try this 60-second exercise with me. Think of the biggest stressor in your life today. Say it silently in your mind. Now draw an invisible line. On one side, not up to me. On the other side, up to me. Place the stressor where it belongs. Then ask, what can I control right now? And move every drop of your attention there. Feel how the body immediately relaxes. That single move is the beginning of inner power. With this foundation in place, the Stoics took it further, because knowing what you can control is useless if you're still too fragile to handle difficulty when it arrives. The second rule is to embrace voluntary discomfort. Seneca wrote that we must train ourselves like soldiers in peacetime so that when war comes, we're already strong. The modern world sells us the opposite message. Avoid pain at all costs. More Netflix, softer beds, easier routes. The result, a mind that collapses the moment life gets hard. Think about the last time you skipped the gym because it felt bad, or avoided a difficult conversation because discomfort made your stomach turn. That avoidance doesn't protect you, it weakens you. It trains your brain to believe that comfort is safety, when in reality, comfort is slow erosion of your strength.
Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth, could have spent every day in luxury. Instead, he chose cold baths, simple meals, and sleeping on the ground during military campaigns. He understood that voluntary discomfort today buys unbreakable resilience tomorrow. So here's the practice. Pick one small act of discomfort every single day. A cold shower, saying no to something easy, going for a run when you'd rather scroll. Do it deliberately. When the voice says, "I don't feel like it," answer, "That's exactly why I'm doing it." Over time, your nervous system stops treating discomfort as danger and starts treating it as training. The mind that once ran from challenge now walks toward it with quiet confidence. But even with control and toughness, life will still deliver blows you never saw coming. And when it does, the third rule becomes your salvation. Amor Fati, love of fate. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." The common mistake is resistance. This shouldn't be happening. This isn't fair. Resistance turns pain into suffering, and suffering into victimhood. The Stoic chooses a radical different response. This happened because it was necessary for my growth. I don't just accept it, I love it. I once knew a man who lost his business, his savings, and his marriage in the same year. Most people would have broken. He used the exact same rule. Every morning he would say out loud, "This is exactly what I needed to become who I'm becoming." Within 3 years, he built a new company that was stronger, and more importantly, he became a man who could never be destroyed again. The daily ritual is simple. When something painful arrives, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What strength is this trying to grow in me?" Then say the words, "I love this. It was necessary." At first, it feels ridiculous. After 30 days, it feels like freedom. To make sure fear never catches you off guard, the Stoics practiced the fourth rule, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Seneca advised imagining loss every single morning so that when it actually arrives, it has already lost its power. Most people do the opposite. They avoid thinking about failure, illness, or rejection, hoping it won't happen. The mind stays fragile. Then reality strikes and they crumble. The Stoic sits quietly for 5 minutes each morning and calmly pictures the worst-case scenarios, losing the job, the relationship ending, health failing, and then decides in advance how he will respond with virtue anyway. This is not pessimism. This is mental armor. When the dreaded meeting finally happens, you're not shocked. You're ready. Calm confidence replaces anxiety because you've already rehearsed the response.
Now let's talk about time, the one resource we can never get back. The fifth rule is Memento Mori. Remember, you must die. Marcus Aurelius kept reminding himself that even emperors turn to dust. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." We live as if we have forever. We doom scroll, hold grudges, postpone dreams, all because death feels distant. The Stoic keeps death close, not to be morbid, but to cut through trivial nonsense and focus on what actually matters. Next time irritation rises, a delayed flight, someone cutting you off, ask yourself, would I still care about this if I had 1 year left to live? The answer is almost always no. That single question restores perspective instantly and turns ordinary moments into meaningful ones. With perspective comes the 6th rule: prioritize virtue over external success. Epictetus taught that the only true good is virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Everything else, money, status, likes, promotions, is indifferent. Yet most of us tie our entire worth to externals. A failed promotion makes us feel worthless. Low social media engagement ruins our day. The Stoic scores himself only on how virtuously he acted, never on outcomes. At the end of each day, run this simple audit. Did I act with courage, with honesty, with kindness? That's your only scorecard. When you live this way, comparison dies. Approval-seeking dies. Inner power becomes unshakable because it no longer depends on anything outside yourself. Even with all of this, the mind can still be hijacked in a single second unless you master the 7th rule. Examine your impressions objectively. Epictetus said we must pause between stimulus and response. An impression hits, someone is rude, a deal falls through, and most people immediately assent, "This is terrible. This person is ruining my day." The Stoic inserts a gap and asks 2 questions. Is this true? And is this helpful? Picture receiving a rude email. The old you fires back instantly. The new you pauses and asks those 2 questions. Suddenly, the rage loses its grip. You respond from strength instead of reaction. That tiny gap is where inner power lives. And finally, the 8th and most beautiful rule: turn obstacles into opportunities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When a business fails, when a relationship ends, when illness arrives, the weak mind sees a dead end. The Stoic asks, what virtue does this obstacle demand I develop right now? Then immediately begins developing it. Every single Stoic who changed history did exactly this. They didn't avoid adversity. They used it as fuel. Remember the man scrolling at 2 a.m. we met at the beginning? He no longer exists. In his place stands someone who now wakes up, runs the dichotomy of control, chooses discomfort, loves fate, prepares for difficulty, remembers death, measures himself by virtue, pauses before reacting, and turns every obstacle into fuel. That transformation is available to you today. The 8 rules don't work because they're ancient. They work because they're true. They work because they align your mind with reality instead of fighting it. Inside you, there's a fortress. Marcus Aurelius called it the inner citadel, a place no external force can ever breach once you decide to guard it with these rules. Weak thinking dies there. Inner power is born there. The ancient Stoics faced wars, plagues, slavery, exile, and death itself, yet they remained unshaken. You and I face traffic, emails, and social media. The same philosophy that carried them through empires is waiting to carry you through your ordinary Tuesday. So here is what I ask of you right now. Choose just one rule, any one, and apply it before sunset today. Then come back to the comments and write the number and what happened. I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own transformation. If this video helped you even a little, save it. Come back to it whenever life feels heavy. It is your daily Stoic reset.
And if you want more deep dives into how to actually live this philosophy, not just hear about it, subscribe and hit the bell. New videos every week. The power was always within you. Now you know how to claim it. Thank you for spending this time with the Stoics. I'll see you in the next one.